do if you're trying to repair your own credit or someone else's credit. And this system gives you the clear flow of what you should do, when you should do it, who should you send it to, and when should you pivot from one area to the next, because we give you a free guide. Do you all hear me? Free, FREE, free for me and you, okay? So if you click, you don't scroll down in the training because the training gives you the videos, which I want you to see the videos, but I want you to stick to the top where it says free download. When you click on the free download, it is going to open up this flow. This guide that you see in front of you right now is telling you the letters to pick for a full 12 months worth of credit repair. Now, I've had people say, well, do I need to do 12 months? No, it all depends on what your goals are, where you're starting, and actually creating the perfect profile is going to depend on what each person's credit report looks like, right? So you might have one person that may only have one or two collections. Once we get those one or two collections off, we're able to pivot and do what we need to do on the back end, right? So what I want to do is tell you guys the number one thing that you want to do. Click on the training tab, click on the free download. You are going to get the most up-to-date, recently tested flow. And the goal is that you're sending this out every 30. I'm a 30 to 45 day company, which means I send out my letters every 45 days, not every 35 days. But every 35 days, you get a free round of attack with Dispute Panda. So that means that if you're using Credit Dino and you're using Dispute Panda as the integrated software, you're able to get a free round of attack every 35 days. Okay. So if you are not sure what letters to pick, what do the letters mean? How is this going to help? Where do I start? We're giving you the cheat sheet, no matter if you have collections, charge off, repos, child support, evictions. This is the tested flow that has yielded results. Okay. So we're going to talk about that. And as we get through loading the client, we're going to have a mini what does my consultation look like for a client, right? We're going to have that mini discussion so we can make sure that you guys kind of have a foundation of what needs to go on. So with that being said, I want to also cover the contact. So if you guys are having an issue, a ism, a schism, I like to call it isms and schisms, okay? You can go ahead and reach out to our Dispute Panda team. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And you can go ahead and highlight the actual issue that you're having. If it's a document round mail issue, you can type in the client's information. And then there's this product that I use. It's called loom.com. I personally like it because sometimes as we are working, I'm clicking on something. So to give you guys an example, let me log into my test client. So let's say this was my test client and I went into their account and I was having a hard time doing the attacks. I'm clicking the button and it's just loading. Nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. Well, with loom.com, you're able to go ahead and take basically a video, a 5-minute video of what you see, and you get an actual shareable link. You can then go right back over here to customer service, drop the link right here, and when someone clicks on it to watch it, you will get an alert that says your video has been watched. So that way you have a clear idea of when someone has watched your video and kind of give yourself a good turnaround time as to when they should be getting back to you, right? So I like to give, again, little gems and little tools that can help you be successful as you're navigating the waters, okay? The general question tab. The general question tab allows you to ask just general questions. We have things like beta testing, partnership, press release, all of those good things. You can go ahead and drop it in here and kind of get what you need completed. It will segment it off to the right team that can answer the questions and make sure you have everything that you need. All right, all right. So with covering everything that I've gone over so far, do you guys have any questions or concerns? Welcome to the room chapter, Mr. Campbell and Dre. Do you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns before I activate my test account and get started? I want to make sure that I open the floor for you guys. Do, 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 do. Any questions? If you guys can't come off of mute, that's completely fine. You can drop it in the chat. Either myself or David will go ahead and respond. No questions? All right. So, if you guys can drop in the chat who has already sent off letters. If you can click on the emojis, you can pick a panda emoji. If you have already sent letters, if you are new to the group, just go ahead and comment new so that I kind of have a gauge of who's in the room at any given time. Thank you guys. All right, give me 1 second. Okay, Drew said he's new. So are you new and you did letters, or I want to make sure I got it. Okay, so you're new and you've already done your first round of disputes. Is that correct? And did you use the guide? Did you already download the guide? Awesome sauce. Okay. No guide. Okay, so before you get off the call today, if you are by your phone, I need you to go to the training segment. I need you to make sure that you click the free guide, and this is going to tell you which letters you are going to use to actually generate your sequence of attacks until you have a little bit more momentum under your belt. So a lot of times people get into a software and they're getting into credit repair, but they don't necessarily know what letters to pick. When do I send it out? So just for a rule of thumb, the laws are written that when you send a dispute letters, you are supposed to allow 30 days for the dispute process to be completed, which means you are not sending a letter off but every 30 days. So the way the system is looking at it is, if we generate a letter today, you're going to allow 5 days for it to be received by mail, 30 days for it to process, and that is why you get a free round of attack every 35 days with the Credit Dino software. If you are using another software, again, you will have to pay the $17 per round, but rule of thumb is you still don't want to pull before that 30-day window, or rather 35, because you're sending off the letters and then you're waiting the 30 days for it to be processed thereafter. Mail normally takes about 3 to 4 days, max 5 days, okay? So just as a rule of thumb, if you have picked a different letter than the letter that is in the flow and you are choosing to use the guide, I want you to understand that when you have waited that 35 days, I need you to come back and start at round 1, although that will be your round 2. I hope I'm making sense. If I'm not, go ahead and drop a comment in the chat. I will go ahead and clarify a little bit more. But if, let's say, the first letter you picked was Nerve Attack Supreme Boosted, and you did not pick the Punch of Fury, and now you have the guide and you're working the guide, you are going to come back, and even though it will technically be your month 2, you are going to start over at month 1 and work the flow. I'm going to say this over and over again as you guys get to know me. The number one thing that I want you to do is track. You are going to track. If you used a different letter in the beginning, I still want you to track and see, what did you get off? What was the response? What was the feedback? That is a must, so that you can see how you are growing. And then this is another thing. When you guys are in the credit repair space, there are a lot of people that are doing the same things. So with that being said, with everyone doing the same thing, as far as, like, yes, every letter is going to be curtailed one to one profile. So no letter is going to come out the same, but understand that someone has a Wells Fargo. You're going to meet 3-4 clients later that might have a Wells Fargo account or might have a Santander account. So you're able to track and see, where did you get movement? Where did you get placement? So you can have a better idea of which letter, if you're going to create your own flow, is going to be beneficial for that particular client. So when you guys are getting your feet wet and started, and they're just getting started, work the flow that is here, and I promise you're never going to fail. Okay. Let me go back. So with signing up for an account, what I like to say is that you need to have a different login email address as a user email address. So a lot of times I've had people ask me, like, okay, so should I use the account? If you're starting in this business, my recommendation is always for you to see how the system works. How is it working for you? Is it a good tool for you? You need to go ahead and get started in real time. So you definitely want to make sure that you're having one email address as the owner of the account. And then once you put yourself in the platform, you're going to have to get a different email address. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. All right. And I'm putting my phone number in. Now, if you are not doing this as a business as of yet, you want to go ahead, you can leave this blank. It'll automatically fill with your first name and last name. If you are doing this as a business, you can put the business name in. I will also show you on the back end where you can go to update this information if you shift and you decide that you're going to transition from using it as a personal account for you and your family to a business. Okay. I like to sign up for special offers. Y'all will learn. I like discounts. I like free. I like samples. I am nosy. January, February, we need to know what's going on. Okay. So I sign up. It is completely up to you if you choose to sign up for the email, but you do have to sign up for the terms and agreements. Once you do that, it will take you into the system and it will open up a service agreement. This service agreement is going to explain how you are to do business with Dispute Panda and how Dispute Panda does business with you. You want to scroll down and read that. For the interest of time, I'm not going to read it today, but please make sure before you log in, you read what's expected of you and what you should expect of the software. Now, this black bar is going to be here because I have not signed up and like I haven't gone into my email and verified my email, but no worries, we'll still be able to go through the platform together. Now, what we are going to do is cover the dashboard. We're going to cover all the side panels, and then we're going to go into the settings and talk about some things that you guys need to know as we're navigating. As I said, I like to talk about drip money and different ways that you guys can make funds. So if you click on this free earn credit, you can actually click accept here and you will get an affiliate link once the affiliate program goes live again, and you are able to have people sign up under your affiliate link. So for instance, if you know a realtor that's in Kentucky and that realtor says, hey, I want to do credit repair, but I don't want to have an overhead on the system. I want to be able to help my clients figure out the art of getting their stuff together while I'm helping them pay down the balances that they need over here, but while we work on repairing the credits over here, right? You want to have that conversation. So you can go ahead and give that realtor your affiliate link, and every time, once they sign up and once they load clients in, you will earn free credits because of what they did. Okay, so you can click the accept button. It will go ahead, and once the system goes live, you will be able to get your affiliate link for you to start. You can also click on this upgrade Panda Pro option, and it will take you for you to upgrade for the $1. Let me show you that. Okay. And you can also click on this affiliate link. So Credit Dino pays you as between $8 and $22, depending on which package you select, where you can refer your clients to get the credit monitoring software. With them doing that, all you have to do is make a post. I promise you guys, on my business page, which I don't really have a lot of followers on my business page, but on my business page, I post on the 1st, the 15th, and on the 30th, have you checked your credit report, right? And then on my personal page, I'll post something like, okay, tax time just ended. Before you go ahead and ball out and buy that new car, let's see what your credit looks like so you can make sure you're not paying a large amount in interest. I want to keep it real with y'all when it comes to especially the auto industry. When your credit score is sucky, you can pay in the state of Florida up to 28% interest on a vehicle. Okay. So that same car that can cost someone $22,000 can end up costing you $50,000 because of the interest. So pushing the narrative of seeing what your credit report looks like, seeing what your scores are, seeing what's on that report. Is it still correct? Are the addresses outdated? Are these accounts in the gray area where they should be disputed? Are there Metro 2 laws, which the software uses to go ahead and help you get these things removed? If those answers are yes, you will never know if you don't pull your credit. So offer this. This is a great way for you to get drip money. You get paid out at every $100. So you are able to go ahead and make a difference, and you don't really have to work for it, guys. Okay. On the main screen, you also get to see the rounds that your client has or the attacks. You can also see any missing documents, and you can shout out and celebrate what? The birthdays. Okay, somebody. If you're looking for a client, you can come up here and you can type in the client. Please be aware that you do have to type in 3 characters to find your client, or you can click on clients. You can click active, inactive. You can import from another software if you are a credit repair organization. Um, and you can import it with the CSV file. If you are having an issue, you can send that CSV file to the actual Dispute Panda team, and they will import your clients for you as well. Okay. And of course, if you want to add new clients, you're able to do that here, and we'll do that shortly. If you want to see the letters that have gone out, you can come here. This eye will open up the information, and I'll kind of show you that once I load the client in and you're able to see the letters. One of the things that I love to point out is the process. So if you're utilizing the system to mail your letters out, the letters only go out Monday through Friday. If they're done by 12 p.m. PST, which is West Coast time, okay, where Snoop Doggy Dogg is at, you can go ahead and the letters will go out the same day. If you do not, the letters go out the next business day. Okay, guys. Um, with that being said, you can only track the certified mail letters. I get asked this all the time. Do you use this software? When I'm traveling, I will 1000% leverage the system to send the letters out for me. Sometimes I will even let the system send the letters out for me for the actual creditors, but I will mail the letters to the credit bureaus myself because most of my clients are in the state of Texas, and I need to make sure that the geotag is there. Now, if I'm traveling like I was last week, I still was working clients. I was leveraging the system to mail my clients letters out because that made sense, right? And we like to make sense over here. You can only track the certified letters as stated. However, you can go ahead and click in the system. And if you do the left click, you're able to go to the USPS site to check on the tracking if for some reason the tracking has not been updated. But our system speaks to each other. So I've never had that issue when I've done certified mail. The inbox option is a pro feature. That is a secured communication portal that you are able to go ahead and your clients can email you, they can text you, and have a full dialogue with you there. The reports tab is also a pro feature. So I like to go ahead and show you guys what you are able to get if you do the pro. So you get this report and you can actually use it to explain what your business has been able to delete in the course of whether it's last month, this month, the 6 months. You can go ahead and plug that information in, and you can talk about how much monies you've been able to delete for your client. You can talk about increases. I personally, y'all, if y'all follow me on social media, I love talking about when the score dips because I want to tell you what's affecting your credit score. A lot of times people are not aware of the habits that they have that cause their scores to drop and how they play a really big role in their numbers. A lot of times they think it's just the letter, and I like to explain that it's an amazing dance between the letters as well as what they are doing on their profiles on their own, okay? So you're able to take this information and you can actually make it a shareable tool. This shareable tool allows it to go off to your social media. You can put it on your TikTok, use it as a conversation piece. You can put it on your YouTube while you're having conversation. But the best part is with the pro, you also get this on the client level. So you can literally go through the report, not the client's report to show like the account numbers and stuff like that, but just kind of see where they were, where they are now, what's the increase, and you can actually use that as marketing. And so I definitely love that. The subscription tab is where you can connect your merchant service. It gives you the ability to create onboarding forms as well as payment forms that you can collect. Of course, the training tab takes you back to the training platform. Again, I know that there's some new people that came into the room. Guys, if you have not done so, please click on the free download. You are going to gain access to the actual attack flow that has been tested and proven to work. So do not sleep on it, y'all. I'm really, really telling y'all that is where you need to be. Okay. There are 2 ways that you guys can get into settings. You can click on these 3 drop downs, or you can click and you can click on settings, or you can click on the balance tab. It will take you to the settings feature, and I'm going to go over some really cool things that are on here. The first I like to start off is your profile. So this is where you can change, let's say you switch from doing this as a personal account to now I am Wealth Management LLC, right? So your email address is wealthmanagement.com. So you can come in here and put that new email address in. If you have the pro, you can put your picture in. So when your clients log in, they see your beautiful face or handsome face. When they log in, if you do pro, if you're not doing pro, it's no need to put that picture in there. Like no one sees it but you. But if you like what you look like, girl, go ahead, put it in now. Okay. The organization tab is where you can put your company logo in, you can put your address, you can put your service agreement. If anyone needs a sample contract, again, this is a plain contract. You would have to find out what is required for your state. But if you need a contract, please just drop something in the chat. I will go ahead and drop the contract in there for you so you can have it. And you can put your privacy policy, you can put your website information. You can also create team members. So if for some reason, like me, I'm a family run business, so myself, my daughter, my husband, and I have 2 cousins that work for me. All right, Indigo, let me go ahead and drop that in for you, boo. Let me go ahead and drop that contract. It is also located in the community. So if you're in the community, you can type in contract. I put that in there a few months ago, and I believe David put it in there as well, so you guys can see. It's my pleasure. So instead of making it where you have to give out your login information, you can actually add a team member, put their name, put their email address, and they will have their own personal login. So you don't have to give out your passwords if you use, let's say, one password for all of your, okay? The affiliate link is where you can sign up for different credit monitoring softwares. If you have the pro, when they log into the Safe Client Access portal, they will be able to see um, the actual credit monitoring softwares that you guys have. Personally, I have everything turned off except for Credit Dino. If there's ever been an issue, I before Credit Dino was built, I did have one with all of the others. So I have no problem utilizing it. Just for me, the payout from Credit Dino is higher than Smart Credit. So for me, that's the only one I keep on. But you guys can sign up for all of them. Just bear in mind that if you are using all of the other ones, you would have to log into their software, refresh the credit report, either download it or get the HTML, bring it over here once you've updated every single month. With Credit Dino, you do not have to log in anywhere else. You're physically going into the client's profile and you're clicking the one-click import. And I will show you guys that in a second. So that's another perk that I love about the software. The disputing options here, the credit bureaus have multiple addresses. I was going to try and see if I can show you guys one, but my lighting is kind of off today, so please forgive me. But you can click this button, and if for some reason they change their address from the 1 to the 6, you can actually go ahead and hit save changes, and now the letters will generate with the updated address on there. So this is under your control if you want to send letters to different addresses. Because TransUnion has like the 1000 address. I think they have like Equifax has like 6 different addresses, including the legal department. So if you wanted to change where the letters are going to month after month, you can come in and change the addresses, again, in accordance to how you guys want to do it. If you do not want to, these are the most up-to-date and accurate addresses. You're not missing a beat by using what's in the software, okay? When it comes to the billing tab, you can go ahead and click the try for $1 and you can update. You can actually add a payment. So for me, I have my payment stored on the system. It just makes it easier if I need to reload because I'm out of town and I need the system to mail the letters for me. It needs money to do that, right? One of the benefits that I've noticed is that if you are starting out for yourself, your husband, your family, you can choose to do the subscribe and save. So when you're using the subscribe and save, it is giving you 50% more, but they bill you every 30 days. So if you sign up for $20, you get $30. If you sign up for $60, you get $90. And you're able to go ahead and it pulls it off of your card and sends it on the profile. Now, this is the only way you get that extra 50% bump. If you purchase in bulk here, you do not. You can choose to have both depending on what you're leveraging, right? Or you can choose to just do bulk and not sign up for the subscribe and save. But I want you guys to know the options that are available to you. The invoices, where you can see invoices for clients, your Panda Pro account, and any statements you have. And this is just a history of kind of like credits you've purchased, anything that you have done on the system. The activity tab is where you can see any attacks that have been sent, any mail that you've paid for, and any attack credits for your clients. Okay. The integration tool is where, if you guys have an email sequence, if you have a text message sequence, right? No matter what it is you have going on, you have the ability to go ahead and tell the system, once the client gets here, you can connect it to Zapier and tell Zapier, I want you to send them a text message that says, welcome to my program, right? Or I want you to send out these email sequence, because you have an email platform that you just need to connect to the software. Because this software really just houses your client's information, allows you to have, if you have the pro version, you're able to go ahead and get like the reports that you can share online and use it for marketing. And things of that nature, but it doesn't give you an email build out within the software at this time. Now, again, Panda's growing. You never know what we're going to roll out with next. Just stay tuned. And again, if you want to refer a friend, this was the button that I was showing you. You can go ahead and refer a friend. If you click on the affiliate link, again, once it goes live, you will come in here and you will see, it will take you to your referral hub once it goes live. It's not here right now, but I promise you it's coming. So we've actually covered all of the information on the main screen plus the settings. What questions do you guys have before I load my test client in today? Any questions?
With the pro, when you get the pro, and I think it was like $197 a month, are you still paying for the letters also, or I don't know if you went over it because I came in a little late.
Yeah, no worries. Yes, you do pay for the letters if you are not using Credit Dino. So if you are using Credit Dino, whether you are on the pro or the free, your letters are free. If you are not, if you're using My Score IQ, Identity IQ, or Smart Credit for your client's credit monitoring, you still have to pay the $17, whether you are on the pro or on the free version. That was a great question. No worries. Thank you for coming in, Miss Lynette.
Thank you. And then okay, I got one more question.
Take
So
your
how
time. Take
does
your time.
this $17 get waived? Because at first I was doing a pro, but on my last couple of clients, it was still charging me for the letters.
So it gets waived if your client is signed up with Credit Dino.
And I only use Credit Dino.
So you have to use Credit Dino, and you have to make sure that you're pulling the disputes every 35 days. If you are pulling the report before the 35-day window, you're still going to get charged the $17.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so you have to, it has to be every 35 days. I had started getting my cousin in Jamaica to help me with the disputing, and she was doing it on the 30th day. And I'm like, girl, where my money went? And she was like, well, it's time to do the client. I said, girl, no, I am a 40-day company. What are you doing? So yeah, if you have to make sure that 35-day, or it's after that 35-day window. If not, you will be charged the $17. Good question. Any other questions, guys? Welcome to the room. Okay, so want to go ahead and touch this really quickly. I did put it in the chat for you guys. This is the documentation that you will need. Very often I get asked, well, what if the client's name is different, or what if they've moved? Well, you want to use the document that the client is using. If they spell their name Stephanie with the IE, okay, then you want the social security card or that has that spelling, the driver's license that has that spelling. Please be aware that if they've moved from Kentucky to Virginia and they do not have a Virginia license, Do not use a driver's license. Pick something else on the list and get a supporting document to confirm the address. When it comes to a utility bill, gas, water, cable, any residential bill, the rule of thumb is every 60 to 90 days, please get an updated bill from them so that way the credit bureau is looking for something to stall. I promise you, they are looking, they are lurking. We don't want that to happen, okay? So the way to avoid that from happening is to make sure that as you're going through the software itself, you are asking your clients every 60 days if they're using a residential bill to get you a new one. If they have a cell phone bill that goes to that address, 86, the residential bill, just use a cell phone bill, okay? You're good to go. The social security card is optional. Now, again, if you're using the social security card as a proof of ID, you do not need to use it as an other. The only two documents that are required are your proof of identification and your proof of address. Any questions on that? No questions? All right. I dropped this in the chat. Let's get into loading our clients. So as I stated, when we're going through the system to load our client, we are going to make sure that we put the information in here that we need. Now, again, I told you we can't use the same email address because the system is going to register that it's the owner. The owner cannot also be a client. So you want to make sure you have a different email address to go ahead and help you get started. Once you do that, you want to fill out all the information on here. And when it comes down to the address, guys, I want you guys to make sure that you're only putting the information on the street address that applies to the street address. So 1414 Mockingbird Lane, you can use unit, you can use suite, you can use apartment, but the city and state is going to go in its respective boxes. Okay. And then you want to put the client's birthday. That's my birthday. Okay. Now, if you have the pro, you would click this option. It will send an email to the client so that they can go ahead and log in. They will be able to put their IDs in. They'll be able to put in their documentation so that you're able to start the process of doing the credit repair and generating the letters for the clients. Okay. If you do not have the pro, clicking this button will do absolutely Nathaniel Bartholomew Jones, which means nothing. All right, you're going to hit save and the client will be loaded. Question in the chat is, how do you have access to this recording? There's several ways. So in the actual chat box, there's a message from David that actually takes you to our YouTube channel. If you've missed any and you want to watch the replay, the actual option is actually right above your message, Mr. Drew. You can click in it and go to YouTube. If you're in the community, you can click on Dispute Panda Live, go to past events, and you are able to see the past calls that we have dipped, done, and gotten to it, okay, within the community. So those are the two ways that you can watch the recording if you came in a little bit late or if you missed a call. All right, great question. All right, so when we are loading our clients in, I like to show you guys this amazing trick. So I don't know if you guys can see, but on this thing, it says that they have a past due amount. The credit bureau don't need to know their business. So we're going to crop this out and we're going to go just to where the credit bureau needs to know. So they need to know the date, they need to have the address, they need to crop and save, and you're good to go. All right. If they give you your documentation and it's on a long piece of paper, but it's just a little bitty ID, don't feel overwhelmed, y'all. Just crop and go. The goal is to get the documents on one to no more than two pieces of paper, because remember, that's coming out of your overhead. That's coming out of what you have to pay in order to do business. And let's be clear, doing business is going to cost, but anywhere that we can chop, screw, and save, we're going to. So like going back to the Credit Dyno, if you're using Credit Dyno, you're saving yourself $17 because the round of attack is free every 35 days, and you're making $8 off of it. So your business is actually in the black for $25 instead of being in the red by 17. So you're not taking that out, right? So I want to make sure that we have that information. I'm going to stop sharing really quickly so I can find a test account. If you guys have any questions as I'm going through, please go ahead and come off of mute and ask the questions that you may have. Oh, here we go. No questions, guys? Okay, looks like I'm doing a good job today. I'm doing a good job. Let's take a look. Um, no, we're not going to use her because her stuff is coming up soon. Let's see. If you guys have any questions, you can definitely ask. It is my pleasure to go ahead and support while I'm trying to find a test client, okay? Boom. Let me use her. All right, all right, all right. Let me minimize the screen here. All right, and we're gonna go back to sharing. All right, let me know if you guys can see my screen. You can see me. Thank you, David. All right. So as you can see, these are the options here if you're coming from a different credit monitoring software. You are able to house your client's information in here if you choose. But with Credit Dino, you can click the one-click import. And once you do that, you literally come back every 35 days. You just click that one-click import and you're good to go. Okay, it will actually pull in the client's report. It will also tell you, hey, you have one free round of attack. Come on, somebody. Now that you know you have that one free round of attack, you are able to see a new segment. This segment says disputing. Now, before you can tell the system to attack, you have to tell the system, what are we attacking, right? So just to give you a breakdown of what the system is looking at, it's going to segment your inquiries. These are hard inquiries that are causing any points that are being taken away from your clients. Please make note that inquiries are only worth 55 points on the credit bureau, within the credit bureau. It's 10%, which equates to 55 points. Am I going to harp on inquiries? Not unless that client is a funding client. If that client is here specifically for funding, then yes, I'm going to go ahead and be hard knocks for the funding portion because I want them to stay under 3 inquiries per bureau, right? So I'd be really aggressive with Experian. I'd be really aggressive with TransUnion, not too concerned with Equifax. But holistically, you can tell the system, hey, I want us to go ahead and dispute these things. Rule of thumb when it comes to the inquiry, if it's attached to a credit card, we are not touching it. I'm gonna say that again. If it's attached to a credit card, an open and active credit card, we are not touching it. If it is attached to a house, a mortgage, an auto loan, by all means, if you guys want to dispute it, please go ahead. They're not going to come and take the car, okay? But they will shut down the credit card line. And I don't want you to do any harm to your profile or to your family's profile because losing that line is going to affect 3 different portions of the credit score makeup, and we want to avoid that at all costs, okay? Cool. So if you're looking to figure out if there's an open and active account, you can send, if you guys are on a Mac, you can do Command F. If you're on a Windows, you can do Control F. You can go ahead and type in, so this right here says BK of America. As you guys go through, you'll kind of know what the acronyms are, but this is Bank of America. So in that particular case, I would go ahead and type in Bank of America, see if there's an open account. If not, then I will be completely okay with disputing that inquiry that's on file. So Indigo said, can you repeat that? Don't dispute open accounts. What I stated was when it comes to inquiries, you do not want to dispute an inquiry that is attached to an open account. So if this was a Bank of America inquiry and down here, it was a Bank of America credit card that was open and currently active, we are not disputing that particular profile because we run the risk of that creditor, Bank of America, closing the card altogether. Now, if it's an auto loan, y'all can have at it, okay? You can do allied, but you can search each client. This right here that says COAF. Oh, my pleasure, my love. That says COAF is Capital One Auto Finance. Okay. As you guys go through, you'll be able to kind of pick up what everyone means. You can type in just Capital One, and that way you can see if the client has an account there or not just an auto loan, but like, do they have an active account? So right now, this person does have a Capital One banking relationship, so I'm not going to dispute them. Now, would I go ahead and dispute the Capital One auto? I would, because I don't see a Capital One auto loan. They have Allied Financial, but it's closed. So I have no problem clicking on Allied Financial and disputing that because the account is no longer open. The system is at this present time has not been trained to pull inquiries because it's not crossing the lines to see what is linked to a credit card versus what's linked to a auto loan. Okay, so this is something that you would manually have to do. Public records, bankruptcies, liens, judgments, that's what shows up on this profile, okay? You can go ahead and select it. The system will auto select this option for the system to dispute because it's aware that it's creating a problem for your client's profile, okay? When it comes to the accounts, the system is going to auto select any accounts that are creating hiccups, errors, or damaging your client's profile. Now, this is something that I love, and I like to show y'all, okay, what's going on. So hold on one second. Let's click on here. So this particular client has a credit card with Citibank, right? This credit card with Citibank, it shows that it's open. It shows this is a revolving account. So that's how you know it's a credit card. It shows what the payment amount is. It shows what the high balance is. And it also shows how much is owed right now. And it shows the credit limit. So we're clearly seeing this card is on file. We clearly see that these numbers are numbering. Well, let's take it a little deeper. We can now have a conversation with their payment history. Payment history is worth roughly 192.5 points for your clients. So if your client is missing, late, have not paid on time, guess what? It is affecting their credit score. They're not getting the full 192.5 points, okay? So you're able to have a conversation with them like, hey, what's going on? This is something that you need to change. I can write all the letters to, Mary had another little lamb, okay? But if you're not paying on time, then this is going to create a problem. Now you're able to go ahead and go to the account section where it's talking about your health and it's talking about, okay, no problem. It's talking about the balances, right? And basically how much available credit the person has versus what their credit line is. So that's worth roughly 165 points, which is worth 30% of your client's overall score. The goal to get your client to the 700 club is that you need them to have at least a utilization of 15% or lower. When it comes to the 800 club, the goal is 7% or lower. I've had people ask me over and over again, like, okay, so I'm not supposed to use my card. So here's what I want to say. The credit bureau wants you to have credit and not use it. The creditors want you to have credit and they want you to use it, but they don't want to think that you are a risky person, that you will not pay the balance off. So the way that you would work the system is that you have to educate your client on how to make the payments. Ideally, your client needs to make the payment before at least 2 days before the statement date is about to close. If they have $1,000, the balance on their credit card is $1,000, tell them pay that $1,000 to your credit card, wait 2 days for your statement to close, and then go ahead and go back and swipe the card and use it to pay whatever bill you have to pay. The reason being is as long as that card shows on-time payment and low utilization, when you add those 2 points together, add 192.5 plus 165, you are getting them the max points right there. The number 3 areas that are impacting your client score is their utilization, their payment history, and then their age. That is the next heaviest impact. So if you're giving them this information, they're going to be, what's my tagline? A beast in these credit streets, okay? So the system selects everything for you. You're going to hit save filter, and now you're going to be able to tell the system to start the attack. So the first attack letter that we have, let me make this a little bigger because you know I got vintage eyes, y'all. I got vintage eyes. It's the Punch of Fury Supreme Boosted. If you had the Pro, you can select the creditor letter, okay? And then you are able to go ahead and do the static letters. The first round of letters are handwritten, and that goes out as round 1. You're not coming back for another 35 days or later, okay? So you're going to come into the system here. You're going to do Punch of Fury. You're going to do handwritten. If you were with the Pro, you would just click this button that says Pro, and it will generate the creditor letters. You're going to click Supreme Boosted. You're going to hit Start Round. You're going to type in Confirm. You're going to hit Send, okay? The system is going to generate the attack for you. While it's doing that, you come back here and you go to the static letters. Your rule of thumb, this is just my best practice, the secondary bureaus start right here. But when you click on the button, it jumps. So I like to scroll all the way to the bottom. I select Factor Trust, Microbill, DataX, Clarity, Credco, ARS, LCI, Innovis, LexisNexis. Again, you click the handwritten button. You have to have at least $1 in the bucket in your balance in order for this letter to generate for free. Static letters are always free. You just need to have at least $1 in your account for the letter to generate. You would hit start round, and then it will generate, and it would say static 1 or static 3, depending on what cycle you're on. Now, if you're wanting to, give me 1 second, send the letter out through the system, you can select mail. It's automatically going to default to first class mail. First class mail is when you physically take the letter to the post office and kind of drop it off, right? You can switch it to certified mail, and you'd see how much the certified mail will cost you. Remember, this letter does not have to be in color, okay? So you do not have to switch it. Sheesh. Hold on, guys. You do not have to switch it to color. You do have to switch it from double-sided to non-double-sided, and that's what the cost would be. So you can exit out, load the money in, come back to the client and send it out. Or if you're doing first class, this is how much it's going to cost. You send it first class. Or you can click this download button, print it out, and mail it yourself. Okay. Stamps are 68 cents right now. I'm just letting y'all know. Okay. For y'all to do it yourselves. If you have the envelopes and the paper, completely up to you. With that being said, if you are looking to see how the letters were generated, you can go to the letter tab, click on the I, and it's going to tell you the letters. If you have the system mail the letters out for you, just regular mail, you will still get an estimated date for delivery. It will tell you first class mail. If you do it as a certified mail, it will give you a tracking number. Okay, once there is a letter ID here, that means the system has mailed the letter out for you. So I wanted you guys to be aware of that. You can check the status of your mail within the system, but we have literally signed up for the platform, loaded a client in, completed our first round of disputes. What questions or concerns do you guys have for tonight? Let me know. Any questions, Miss Maya, Mr. Campbell, Mr. Kev? Any questions you guys have on what we've gone over so far? The system mails when you are on the paid program. Whether you are on paid or you are on free, the system will mail whatever you tell it to. So when you have the client, if you tell the system to mail it out for you, all you need to do is have the money in this balance, for the amount of what the mail is going to cost. So if you're doing double-sided, it's $17. If you're doing single, it's $24.59. So you would have to have $24.59 in here. You would hit pay in mail and type in confirm. And whether it's the free version or the pro version, the system will mail the letters out for you. Great question. Any other questions for you guys? Also, the system does the handwriting. Yes, the system has 10 different font sizes for handwriting. So when it does handwritten, it will go ahead and go through those 10 variations for you. And it will print out and you'll be able to see it, that it looks like it. It looks like a really fancy handwritten, like back in the day when we used to do script. I don't know, I'm a good season 43, y'all. So I remember this. I remember the script. So it does like a really nice handwritten option, and it just gives different eyes on it. So that's why the flow will have some that are handwritten and some that are not. Great question. Any other questions, guys? Let me see. Ooh, I think another one just came in. What attack do you recommend for the first round? The attack that I just gave you in the flow, Punch of Fury, Supreme Boosted, round 1 is the flow that you want to use. So you want to download the guide if you have not done so to go ahead and get started. Unless you have a little bit more under your belt and you see your client has a specific file, what I'm going to tell you is to definitely track what you are doing. You can do it in Google. Google has like Google Sheets. You can put an Excel spreadsheet. You can put the client's name on there. You can put the letter that you put. What were the results that you got back from each round? Okay, and this is for each creditor for each round. So if you have the free version, it is not sending out a creditor letter. The creditor letters are only for the pro version. So if you have the free version, and let me clarify, if you are using any other credit monitoring service outside of Credit Dyno, you do not have the ability to send the creditor letters. And you can only send the creditor letters on the pro version. So if you are on the free version, the creditor letters is not even an option for you to select. If you're using Credit Dyno, you have to have pro in order to select that. Great question. So yeah, when you go here and you hit start round, if you are on, hold on, let me get out of static letters. Let's say you did this. It only works if you're on pro. So great question. If you're looking at the attack guide here, you're only using the static letters for the secondary bureaus, round 1 through 4. Give me 1 second. Let me move this around a little bit. You're doing it round 1 through 4. You're not doing it 5 and 6. You're doing it again 7 through 10. You're not doing it 10, 11 if your client stays with you for a full 12 months. Great question. Let me take a look. I want to make sure I'm looking at everyone. Any other questions for me, guys? What is it? So static letters are the letters that are going to your secondary bureau. The verbiage is just letters that you're sending that are not standard dispute letters. So for instance, when you search the static letters are letters that are like debt validation, goodwill letter, bankruptcy court letters, demand letters, failure to respond letters. These are different letters that will allow you a little bit more leverage. So like, for instance, if your client gets a stall, you can come in here. If it's within like a 7 to 14 day window, you can select the stall option. If you have the pro, you can put in that dispute letter for that specific credit bureau, and then you can have the system remail that letter out for you in response to the stall that happens. But these are letters that may go to the credit bureau or may go to other credit collections or secondary bureaus that are helpful. So that's what the static letter area template is for. Great question. So let me make sure I comment that. Where's the guide located? Great question. So if you go to the training tab, you can click on here for the training tab. I'm just gonna go back. In the training tab, when you click on free download, it actually will open up this new current workflow that is available for you. Great question. Where you can go ahead and see the actual guide that I'm using to teach you guys on today. And I also use this flow. Any other questions, guys? So that's a great question. You do not need the paid version to follow the flow. So if you do not have the pro version, all you're missing out on is the creditor letters. So if you have Credit Dyno and you have the free version, you are still able to generate the letters to the 3 major credit bureaus, and you are able to generate static attacks, whether you are on the free version or the paid version. The only thing that you need to generate the static attack is you need to have at least $1 in your bank to generate the static letters. The static letters are free. They do not cost you anything. You just have to have money in your account. So if you are in the software and you are on the free version, I just went through the system with Credit Dyno and I just did an actual round of attack for my client, my test client. I did not need to have the pro, but I'm going to have the letters. If you're looking, these are the letters to the 3 credit bureaus that involve my clients with the derogatory information. If I had money in the bucket, then I would be able to generate the static letters for free. And I can show you what that looks like if you're wanting to see it, but you do not need the pro to follow it. All that you would do is you would not have the accessibility for the creditor letters. Does that make sense, Ms. Indigo?
I don't think I'm following you still.
Okay. Okay.
So I do have the 2 free credit attacks
Mhm.
from being subscribed to Credit Dynamo.
Mhm.
I did come in a little late,
Mhm.
so I wasn't completely following. But I have listened to you one time before, but I think I just got confused.
Okay.
I was trying to follow along. I'm in the credit, like I have myself as the client, and it's
Mhm.
got everything selected, like the ones that I have like a couple collections.
Mhm.
I paid off one collection, but it, once I select it and then I go into disputing, I'm confused what that next step is. I know you click on the Punch of Fury thing, and then I guess it just automatically does something behind the scenes, but I'm not sure what it's doing. And now I'm hearing that it's not doing dispute letters, it's doing the attack flow or whatever. It's the static letter thing.
So no, what I stated, so the Punch of Fury Supreme
Mhm.
Boosted is an attack letter. So that is a dispute letter. So
Oh,
I don't
okay.
want to
Okay.
confuse. The Supreme Boosted,
Okay.
the Punch of Fury is the type of attack, which is the dispute form that the letter is going to generate. Because when you go into, so using what you're saying, when you're going into the system and you're doing start round, as you can see on the start
Mhm.
round, there are different letter options that you can select. Does that make sense?
Um, okay, right. Yeah, I
These
see that.
letter options are your disputes. The verbiage in those letters are different based on which letter you're selecting. The guide that we
Mhm.
give you is giving you the best flow or letters to pick for your attack process or your dispute process. So when you hear the word attack, I want you to think attack means dispute. Does that make sense?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Attack
Yeah.
means dispute. So when you go into the system and say, I'm going to select the Punch of Fury, I'm going to select the Supreme Boosted, this is saying it's going to be a letter that's going to be generated is going to include your personal information, your inquiries, and any accounts that need to be disputed. This is your dispute letter, right?
Okay.
Now,
Mhm.
once you have done that, you have the ability to have static letters. Static letters are letters that go to other agencies or other departments or the creditors, because it depends on the type of letter. In this particular case, when we're saying static, we're telling you who you're going to send the dispute letters to. So the LexisNexis is a secondary bureau that feeds information into TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. So when you're disputing with TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian with that Punch of Fury Supreme Boosted, you also need to dispute with the secondary bureaus because they're housing your information too, and we want that data removed. So think of a static letter as, in this particular scenario, on this particular flow chart, is your dispute letter that you're going to be sending to the secondary bureaus. Does that make a little bit more
Okay.
sense?
Yeah. And so just because I'm trying to follow along, when you're in that punch of fury, like, I mean, there's so many things that you can select.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see, actually. There it is now. So premium, supreme,
Mm-hmm.
supreme boosted.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you're going to select
All
based
right.
on the flow that's here. So the first round is
Got
going
it.
to be Punch of Fury, Supreme Boosted. So to your comment, you don't need Pro because, well, not to say that you don't need Pro. If you want to be more aggressive, you can go to the Pro option. That will give you the ability to get the creditor letters, which means you're now disputing with the credit bureaus, the creditors, as well as the secondary bureaus. That's what, in this particular context, the static letters are speaking to.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Now I see what you're saying. It's just like another level of disputing it. So and like maybe if it's not successful, then going and purchasing the pro would be good. I guess you could do it all over again.
Well, you wouldn't do it all over again. So if you got the pro, let's say for round 2 or round 3, all you would do is then check the box, right? If you're coming into round 3 is the Punch of Fury Supreme. So you would come in, if this was round 3, you would check the box for creditor, and then you would just check Supreme. And then it would literally just generate the letters for you for the credit bureau. So again, this letter, this Punch of Fury, is your dispute letter. The sequence and everything of what it needs to say based on what's on that specific credit report. But you won't have to start from round 1. You're just gonna, if you get it in round 3, let's say you upgrade to pro, you would just sit creditor on round 3.
Okay. So the use handwritten font, did you say that's only in pro?
Nope.
Because I
Are
see it
you able
has
to
the
see my
ability to
screen?
check it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are you
yeah,
seeing
and
my
I see it
screen?
on mine.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can check the box. The only thing that's for pro
Okay.
is where it says generate creditor letter.
Okay, great. Now I get it. Thanks. I'm gonna
My
put myself back on
pleasure.
mute. Thank you.
No, my pleasure. My pleasure. Great questions. Any other questions or concerns, guys? I love that. That was great. I'm glad that I was able to kind of connect the dots. So just think of static letters. Static letters houses, it's a head that houses a lot of information. So as you scroll through, there's cease of desist letters that goes to collectors. There are letters in here that goes to the bankruptcy court. So this is just a housing title for a lot of different letters, but in the guide format, when they're using static, they're specifically referring to the secondary bureaus. Hey, Mr. S, come off mute. What questions do you have, my love?
Hey, how's it going?
Great.
Well, just how you were talking about the secondary bureau, um, I got a letter from the bankruptcy, um, I guess secondary bureau.
Okay.
But of course, right, I was following the flow. I went ahead and put it on there. If my client did not have bankruptcy court, or anything on there. I guess I overlooked it. Should I disregard that secondary bureau?
What does the secondary? So I'm going to state that I only send out secondary bureau requests when I know my client has something there. So if it comes back that they have nothing there, why are we sending them a letter? Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. So if it came back that said that there's no file there, there's nothing on that account, then when you're going for the next round, you're just not selecting it. So remember I said my flow is a little bit differently because my round one is I'm requesting the report versus just asking to dispute. So that way I'm not wasting ink, paper, stamps on that. So to answer your question, if that company is saying that we don't have a file, what are we disputing with them?
Got you. And then for the next question that I have, I got another one from, I think, for Logic, if I said that right.
Okay.
And basically they were asking for ID information,
Mhm.
Pretty much, I guess, verification. Would I send in the round of attack if they're
Nope,
requesting
I
that?
send the information off, and when I send the information off, I send the actual request that I sent the first time. So I fill out the packet that they send with, and I return it, the packet with the original request that I had.
Gotcha. Yeah, because they did send out that packet.
Yep, I know it.
Got it. Awesome.
Any other questions, guys?
A quick question. So when you do a nerve attack and it says it targets everything on the credit report, is it just everything in red or is it actually everything that's on the report?
It targets everything that you have selected in the dispute tab.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
whatever was, whether you selected extra or you went by what the system selected. So in this particular case, there's 19 things. If I were to go and do a nerve attack, it's going to dispute. Remember, the dispute option is telling the letter what's supposed to be in it.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Great
makes sense.
question. You got another one for me?
Yeah, and then one more thing. Okay, so say for instance you do have a client that has like 20 different accounts that's like closed off, charged off and stuff like that. And I know you said use the Punch of Fury attack. Um with the Punch of Fury, isn't it like up to like 7 wait. So I was confused. Okay, so how many accounts is it for each like paper? Because I know you were saying like try to save paper and stuff like that when you're mailing it
It
out.
depends on the letter that you're selecting. So if you were doing pinwheel, it only does 7 per. But as I was saying, when you look here, it generates it. So if your client has 20 negative accounts, then there are going to be multiple letters that are going to go to that creditor. Because if that letter caps out at 7, it's only going to include 7 on that letter. So then it's going to include 7 on the next letter and then 7 on the next, or whatever the calculation is that leads up to that 20. Does that make sense?
Yes. Okay, I get you.
Yeah. That's how the system will work. So as you can see with this particular client, there are 3 different letters going to the credit bureau for TransUnion, but there's only 2 going for Equifax because whatever the cap amount is for that particular letter, that's all that it has been able to compass the negative items for that specific creditor. Great question.
Last question.
Mhm.
Is there any way in the system where you can like get some letters like notarized? Because like before I switched to Dispute Panda, I used to do like notarized letter, and I noticed like when you get it notarized, you don't get as many stall letters.
I know if you were on this call 2 weeks ago, someone would have said no, because I know someone who literally notarized every single letter and all of them came back that she needed to prove that she was who she says she was. But the system does not have a notarize, so you would have to download it and notarize it and then go ahead and mail it out yourself
Okay.
if that's what you want to do. Great
Okay.
question.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Any other questions, guys? Hey, Miss Edwards, I hope you're ready for the 18th. Our mentorship starts and we talking about all the credit con stuff. I'm so excited. Yay.
Hey, y'all, I'm excited too.
Yay. I cannot wait. Any other questions, guys? Do you guys have any questions, concerns, comments? Have you gotten stuck anywhere within the system? Let me know. I'm here to help. Miss Indigo, thank you so much for all of your amazing questions. I'm glad that we were able to clarify some things for you guys. Thank you, Mr. S. All right, what question you got, my love? Oh, you just gave me high five? Is that or you got a question? If you got a question, you can come off mute.
Yeah, I don't know. Actually, I clicked that. So I did get another letter back from a creditor, and they were just pretty much saying that you did have an account. It's a utility bill. They forgot to pay, and that it's reporting and it's 100%. I guess it is theirs. Should I? It was too late in the round, and I don't know if I should respond back to that creditor or how.
The next letter you doing is going to respond to the creditor.
Okay.
Yeah.
And would that be generated off the system automatically, or is it
That is
something
correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Because you
Okay.
have the pro. So the next one that you have will go ahead and have information on it as well.
Okay.
Great question. Anything else, guys? Miss Maya, do you have any questions? Miss Baker, you were on fire. Miss Indigo, I saw that you came off of mute. Did you have another question, my love?
Yeah, I do. So when I'm paying the collections, so like I have like one that's like 400 and someone I want to pay that one. And I already paid another small one. Does it matter that I'm paying these and disputing them at the same time?
No.
Like, no? Okay.
Nope. What I will suggest, and this is something that I do teach in with my mentees, is that if you're going to pay, try and see if you can ask for a pay per delete. There's over 10 companies offhand that are third-party debt collectors that will go ahead and do a pay per delete. If you are paying the third-party collectors, I'm not telling you to, but if you're deciding to pay that third-party collector, what I'm going to tell you to do is to make sure you keep your information, because sometimes that third-party collector will show paid, but the primary person, so using an example, you had a Target card, but you paid BB Collector, right? BB Debt Collector. You settled the debt with BB Collector for $100. So the debt is now showing that you've paid BB Collector, but Target still shows that you have this outstanding debt. You want to make sure you keep the letter that shows that you paid it and you settled it, just in case you need to send it to the credit bureau to have that Target letter updated as well. That Target account updated as well. Does it create a problem? No, but I want you to expect that there may be an issue where, because you're paying the collection, and if it's not being deleted off the profile, that you may see a dip in your credit score because of that payment. And that's because activity has changed, and they're going to update that you've now settled the debt, and they're updating it as of today. So let's say that collection is a year old. It's going to update today, and that status of you making the payment may make your account dip. Do not fret. Make sure that you still have active accounts on the other end to kind of offset that. So you want to make sure you have active accounts that are showing that you're paying on time, so that you won't really feel that dip when you pay that collections off. And to be quite honest, it's a lot easier to get paid debt off when you're disputing your credit report than having an open collection sitting on there. So you're completely fine. Great question.
Okay. And so like the ones that are the open collections, when I do that first Punch of Fury or Supreme boosted round, what will that do for the open credit collection?
Nothing.
What
It's going to
happens in that
dispute it.
first step?
It's going to
It
dispute it.
just,
So it's
oh,
going
it
to
just
ask
goes
them
through
to
that
validate
process
it.
of like asking,
Mhm.
oh, okay, got it. Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
My pleasure. Okay, Maya said no questions. Great question, Miss Indigo. All right, Lynette, do you have any questions? Miss Edwards, do you have any questions? I know that we're meeting, but do you have any questions before? Lynette, do you have any questions? Kevin? Lynette came off of mic.
Yeah.
What's up? What questions you got?
One more question. How do you get into the mentorship?
Oh, my mentorship? Oh, that's a great question. If you shoot me an email, I'll go ahead and put my email in here because I'm at a different computer today. I will go ahead and send you my mentorship information. Class starts on the 18th. It's twice a month where we kind of go over different dispute methods. I show you guys my flow. I give you guys kind of little insider tips on how you can move. So if you shoot me an email, because I don't, let me stop sharing. Let me see if I can find the link, y'all. Give me 1 second. See if I can find the link, because I'll be out here doing stuff. But yeah, if you shoot me an email and just says mentorship, I'll go ahead and send you the link for you to sign up for the mentorship. And that way you can get started and you'd actually be able to dive on into the class on the 18th. So I'm looking forward to it. Have you already read your course material, Miss Edwards?
I started on some of it.
Okay, that's okay.
Like I
Whatever you
say,
ain't get to, we gonna dive in together. It's okay. I just
and
wanted
I'm
to
just
see.
going to say too, I'm gonna put this plug in for you. Thank you. I'm telling everybody that's on it to connect with Miss Raquel. Thank you for even after hours, y'all. I'm not saying to bother her, but she's very patient, very informative, and I'm really excited. So I can't wait. So I just want to put the plug. If anybody is looking for
Oh,
extra
thank
help, get into
you.
the class because she knows what she's doing and I'm excited. So I took the first class. This is my second class and it's worth the investment. So jump on. So thank you. I just wanted to come on tonight to just see what, you know, this is where I met you on the Dispute Panda. So I try and make the other ones, but work have me, but I'm just excited. So that's
Oh,
it.
thank you. And don't forget the replays will be in the course module. So if you cannot make it, I like y'all to come in so y'all can get all my low energy. Okay. So y'all can get my energy. But if you guys cannot make it, it is completely okay. I just want to make sure that you guys have everything that you need to like really be a beast in these credit streets as much as possible. So if you're not with me, wherever you can go, I like to drop the tips as much as possible to make sure that you guys are getting the impact and the movement that you need. So I'm excited. Super duper excited. Any other questions, guys? So yeah, if anyone needs it, drop mentor. I do apologize. The mentorship is $37 a month. We meet twice a month. If you have files that you want to work or you want to go over, you can bring it into that mentorship so that you have everything. We can actually go over your particular file, what's happening, answer questions. I actually have a team with me. So right now in my arsenal, I have a litigation person. I have a person that's on student loans. So they'll be popping in throughout the mentorship program to have different conversations with you guys, tell you guys what to look out for. And that way you have another gateway of experience if you guys are doing this for yourself and your family to make sure that you're gaining positive, massive movement forward. So I'm super duper excited about that. When is the next session? It is on the 18th is the next one. And I respect you guys' time. I can talk about credit all day long, okay? But I make sure that I take no more than 2 hours of your Saturday. I try to do it less than, but if you guys have questions, concerns, comments, I want to make sure that I'm answering all of those before you get off the line. And if it requires something in depth, we set up something one-on-one because I really want you guys to have everything you need truly. Great question. I'm trying to see if I can find a link, y'all, because I'm doing too much. Oh, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. Any other questions? So yeah, if you want to shoot me an email that just says mentorship. Hey, Mr. S, what questions do you have, my love?
I just want to, so for the link, I think you had last time was for the boot camp.
Yep.
That right there is the one we can sign up for.
You know what? I don't think that I can check right now. Give me 1 second. Let me check if the boot camp has the link to the mentorship.
So I have the mentorship, but for the one for that class coming up, for the, I guess the 2 hours, and then one day you had business funding, and then one day you had credit
Yep.
repair.
Yep. That is the next class is this Saturday and this Sunday for 2 hours.
I will be, I can attend I guess the Sunday one. And you said it will be available for replay, right?
You can purchase the replay right now. If you go in and purchase it, you end up getting the course. The replay from the last one is already there.
Oh, okay.
So if you have new questions, you can. So if you can't make Saturday and Sunday, that's fine. You can watch the replay of the last class that's already available.
Gotcha. And then I guess, but yeah, I already have the mentorship link already. That'll work.
Awesome. Can you drop it in the chat? Because my computer, yeah, I killed it the other day and I was supposed to fix it, y'all, but I didn't. Don't judge me. Look, don't judge me. I didn't fix it. I didn't fix it. I kept saying I had time, but I ended up leaving. So please forgive me on that. But yes, that's no, that one's for the boot camp. Wait, nope. Yeah, nope, that's the mentorship. You got it. Look at you. Thank you. The mentorship is there. You are amazing. Yeah, there is a boot camp that I have this Saturday and Sunday. I can drop the link for the boot camp because that I do have. Hang on 1 second. Here is the link for the boot camp, and that is the link for the mentorship. So completely up to you guys. If you guys want to pull up on me, it would be so amazing. Let me go ahead and copy this. Any other questions, concerns, or comments that you guys have? I know that it's after 9:30 where I am, so that means it's 10:30 where y'all are. Let me know if you have any questions. You had a question, Miss Lynette? I see that you're off mute.
Yeah. What's the difference between a boot camp and a mentorship?
The boot camp is only a 2-day class. We go over things that I kind of didn't know when I first started. I give you guys a flow. You guys have the reading library. It's literally like, think about how a lot of people hold those 5-day classes where you're going in and you're touching stuff. We get it in, we dive in, we talk about what you need to know for the 2 days, you're in and out. The mentorship, you meet with me on a monthly basis, so twice a month. You also get access to people in my team that are tax preparers, again, people that are litigation. So you're literally in, and if I go to any training, so for instance, I just came back from Credit Con. I went to Card Con before. Any information and material that I learned, you guys gain access to that information for being in the mentorship program as well. So with the mentorship, you have the ability to actually bring files in on those specific days if you want to discuss those files. And you don't have to, because my normal cost for a one-on-one is $97 for you guys to talk to me. So with the mentorship, you're paying $37 a month. You get to come in, and if you may not have that question, you're dealing with a group of people that will have that question and or might have a different question that you didn't even think about that we're able to dive in and work on, and we can work on your file. So again, it depends on what you're wanting. If you're just wanting the knowledge on how to work a file, how to process a file, what banks, if you want to know what a good credit profile looks like, because that's what we cover. What does an actual account need to look like for you to get funding? And then day 2, we talk about what business funding looks like. And then you leave with like real live banks that you can work with. But that's a one-time class. I have that class once every quarter. But the mentorship is monthly. So you're able to come in the room, talk to me, and I can answer questions that has nothing to do with Dispute Panda. It has to do with actual credit repair. Great question. The bootcamp pricing is I think the tiered price is like $97. If you click the link, you'll be able to see that there are 3 different pricing. for the boot camps, because one does give you the ability to come in early and ask any question that you may have about yourself, your family, or whatever. But the standard class starts at 11. My pleasure. So all the VIPs, they get to come in a little bit earlier to have like a wonderful discussion if they need. Great questions. Any other questions you guys have for me? It is my pleasure. All right, y'all. Well, I done been stalking y'all this whole time. I appreciate you. I appreciate you showing up and showing out. Y'all mean a lot. I cannot wait to speak to you guys again. If you have any questions, concerns, or comments, please let me know. I always drop my email and you guys can watch it on the replay. If you have questions, I do try to check. Now that I'm back home, I will be back into the community, checking the community. So I will look forward to speaking to you then. And other than that, I look forward to talking to you guys. For those of you guys that are on pro, I will see you tomorrow. Everyone else, I will see you guys next Monday. Bye, guys. Bye, Miss Edwards. I can't wait to see you on the 18th. Recording. Bye, my love.